Hey, coaches, welcome back to Football Talk with Coach Chip right here on the old YouTube. I hope you had a pleasant 4th of July as I record this. It is the weekend after the 4th, and today we're going to be talking about protecting your quarterback with what I like to call Billy Ray protection. Also going to throw in a little solid pass protection too, just for good measure. I had several emails over the break, over the 4th of July. This is 2024, by the way, you're listening in the future. The questions were about pass protection, so I was going to refer them like I always do. I try to find resources. I didn't have much. I had some stuff, but it was old. And I went to my collection on YouTube, the videos, and there wasn't much. We've done a lot of quick game. We've done a lot of play action. And basically, we did one, really, on basic pass protection. So I wanted to share that with you. And I took an old resource and updated it. And so it's what we're going to talk about today. All right, don't forget, the podcast is up, and now it's on Apple. Yeah, thank you, Buckets. That is my IT guy. Didn't cost me much, just 2 good homemade Coach Chip pizzas, the way the man likes them, Hawaiian style, Canadian bacon, and pineapple. Hey, don't hate on him. He's a 20-year infantry veteran, spent 6 years stationed in Hawaii, and got addicted to pineapple. Can't blame him one iota. Buckets, anytime you want pizza, son, just head up to Pine Mountain. If you have an idea for a video here on YouTube or a podcast guest, contact me at siegel.chip@gmail.com. Listen, I've told you before, I want the video channel to be viewer-driven, and now that we're doing the podcast, I want that to be listener-driven. This is yours. I'm just the one doing it. You know, at the end of the day, I'm going to do what I want to do, but I do listen to your suggestions. Summer freebie, sample practice schedule getting closer and closer. We're about 2 weeks away from people all across the country starting official football practice, strapping it on. It's going to be the first one I've missed since 1st August I've missed since 1985. God help me. But it's a sample practice schedule. It's several of them. It comes in a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, and I'll share it with you, and you can just take the cells and delete and add what you want to add. It's already set up for you. You can see right here's a screenshot of it. You know, if you're a zone team, you can put in working on your zone blocks here and your ID time for offensive line, and running backs over here working on their footwork on whatever plays you run. It's set up on 5-minute increments, and it's I got 2 platoon and 1 platoon, and they both go about 2 hours, and special teams are included as well. There's also installs, sample installs to start your season with. If you're one of those that installs in August, or maybe you're going to install here in July as you get the next few weeks, there's sample install schedule. And that's free to you. All you got to do is be a subscriber. Hit me up at siegel.chip@gmail.com. If you want to dive deeper into any concepts we've covered on Football Talk with Coach Chip, the podcast or the video channel, hit me up at siegel.chip. I'm now doing in-person or Zoom clinics. In-person, if you're close enough for me to get there. And Zoom clinics, of course, I just did one recently with a coach from Utah. Got one planned with a coach from Colorado. Got another one planned with some coaches in Alabama and another one in Arizona. No, I'm not traveling to any of those places except the ones in Alabama. For those of y'all that aren't aware, I'm stationed in west central Georgia, about 23 miles from the Alabama state line. I stay close enough where I can sit on my front porch in the evening and watch the sunset on Sweet Home, Alabama. So hit me up. Don't forget our offensive line manual for gap scheme blocking, the big book of bucks. I like big bucks, and I cannot lie. Folks, these are great resources. Hit me up, see how you can get your hands on those. Let's get started with pass protection. We started calling it Billy Ray. Billy was to the left. Ray was to the right. And I know some of you right now are seeing slides. Oh, like slide protection. It's not full slide. We've done full slide, especially on our play action and our quick game in the past. And we'll again, But on straight drop back, three-step or five-step in the gun, five-step or seven-step if you're under center, I like using what we call Billy and Ray. And they're the same protection. Billy's to the left, Ray's to the right. The call side is the side that's sliding. They're the side that's got gaps. They're kind of, for lack of a better term, they've got zone protection. And the slide begins with the backside guard versus an odd front. It begins with the center, you'll see on the next slide, with an even front. So the slide's going to begin against an odd front. Since it's Billy, there's two L's in Billy, that's to the left. The slide begins with the backside guard, which would be the right guard. He's got anything coming through the A gap, right A gap. The center's got anything coming through the left A gap. The guard, left guard, and Billy's got B gap. And of course, your tackle's got C gap. This is real simple. You know, it'll take a little while to install it, depending on the age group. But once they learn it, it's hardcore. The big drawback of Billy Ray is potentially, you could lose a tackle. And what I mean by lose him, if this tackle's got C gap and this end comes in here, then the guard's got him, right? The mindset behind that is if they bring him in here, then something, either the outside backer or the mic, is going to twist and come right here. That's what you would think. That's not always the case, so there's a good chance you could lose this guy, and he's out here blocking the crap out of grass and air. And that's why I said you could lose one with inexperienced linemen. Experienced tackle knows he can hang inside right here, waiting for something to come off the edge and kind of block half man with his inside arm, inside part of his body on the outside part of that DN's body, and he's waiting for somebody to come. And so that's the mindset there. So everybody's got a gap. We're not going to get into technique and sitting down, what I call bar stool posture. We'll talk about that another time. I actually need a human body to video that. All right, over on the back side, on the odd front, the end on the back side, remember, because the front side is Billy, because you call Billy. Billy's to the left. So the backside tackle, he's locked. If that DN goes in, he's got him. DN goes out, he's got him. DN goes to the bathroom. He's standing outside the stall, seeing if the dude needs toilet paper. That's what you got to do. He's locked. The running back is checking the B gap to outside, because remember, the tackle doesn't have outside. The tackle's got the DN. So if the DN slants inside, the tackle's got him. That leaves the outside open. And there's a good chance they may loop the wheel or bring this guy. So he's going to check from here to here. And as he's checking and moving forward, if these guys drop in the coverage, then he slips out into his route. Most of the time in our scheme, it's a flat route. A lot of guys like to use the swing route. Either one's fine, whatever you prefer, whatever you're comfortable with. All right, so look over here at Ray. I'm not going to go through the whole thing again. Ray is the same protection, this time to the right. I just got through talking with a coach. I don't remember where. I'm not talking to him. We were corresponding through email. And I told him he coaches like 6th and 7th grade. And I said, Coach, I would just use one. And I'm going to do another one in a minute here. Believe it or not, we went to the semifinals in 16 and the finals in 17 running just one. We had a right-handed quarterback, so we ran Billy. Some of the other coaches said, do we need to put another one in? I said, we practice it. We haven't run it yet. So if we have to, we can. We do practice it. So we ran Billy for 15 games. Say, why Billy? Because it was a right-handed quarterback. Notice we've got every gap accounted for, A, B, C, D, to the quarterback's left. The quarterback's blind side is completely covered. The defense has to win a battle. They're not going to get a free runner to the quarterback's blind side. Meanwhile, since he's right-handed, on his drop, where are his eyes? Pretty much here to here. Just naturally, just because of the posture of being a right-handed quarterback and dropping back. So that means if he does get a blitz from here or here, he's more likely to see it and pick it up. And that's the reason we did it. And it worked for us. It won't work for everybody. Conversely, if a left-handed quarterback and you wanted to major in one, run Ray. This is pass protection, but they've got a zone. This is the same protection, Billy and Ray, versus an even front. Now, we did do this, Billy, when the 3 was over here. It was different, and sometimes it could be difficult. That's why in the future, I would be able to do both. And remember, I told you we had both in, but we just majored in Billy. And to be honest with you, we saw so many odd fronts, it didn't matter. But notice, the slide begins with the center versus an even front. He's got left A, center, left B, left C. You're less likely to lose a man versus an even front. Okay, you're not going to lose a tackle on the even front. Now, over on the back side, which is the right side on Billy, you're locked here. He's got first man, pass the ball. He's got the DN. It's that simple. Running back's got the exact same thing. He's checking B, and he's checking C. I didn't have C drawn up here, but he would check. Because the end may come inside. Of course, tackle stays with him. And if they bring the outside backer or loop the wheel, he'd be there for him. So the dotted line's telling you that's who he's checking. That's who he's locked on. That's who he's locked on. Notice the protection over here on Ray versus an even front. Ray is to the right. It begins with an R. I'm really big on word devices. And those of y'all that have followed my channel for a while and have been viewers notice I do that a lot, especially in our passing game. So on the Ray protection, the slide begins with the center again because it's even and it's going to the right. And we say slide, don't get the concept screwed up. Don't get my words screwed up the way I say them. It doesn't mean they're flat sliding and just squatting in their gaps. They're doing their drop, whatever you teach, whether you teach vertical pass set, kick slide, whatever it is you teach, they're doing that, but they're doing it into their gap with their eyes in their gap looking for whatever comes. So the center is going to say kick slide or vertical pass set into the A gap to the right because it's Ray. If the tackle spikes across the face and comes into A gap, he's sitting there to get him. And of course, if that happens, Mike is probably coming B, or the end is spiking to B, and the outside backer or Mike's coming C. Either way you look at it, so if they start running games, you're good. Because they're right here, sitting in their gap, waiting. And one of the things that I love about that and what I would teach the kids, we did kind of a vertical pass set concept, a little bit of, I use the word bastardized, what Mike Leach used for years in the air raid, but it wasn't just like his, where I'd tell them 3 vertical steps back. I told the center 2, or until the guy made contact with you. What that does, it buys the quarterback time because think of this term. They can't beat you until they meet you. And the way I would say it to the kids, they can't beat you until they meet you. If you vertical pass set 3 steps, guard and tackle into your gap, and they run a loop right here, and the tackle comes here and the end comes here, your guard and tackle are just pass setting, watching them do it. Say, hey, when y'all get through playing your little game over there, we'll be sitting here waiting on you in the gap you're stunning to. That's why I like Billy and Ray so much. When they want to play those games. Now, it can be difficult when they want to bring that nose around over here. And that's when that gets into deeper communication. And of course, when you start seeing stunts like that, it gets more into varsity level. And that's when you'll start talking. And that guy goes right there. Instead of him chasing him and running into the center, he'll make a call. And they communicate, knowing if one leaves, another one's coming. If something leaves, something's coming. If a lineman leaves, another lineman or a backer is coming. If they're a halfway decently coached team, they're not going to leave a gap uncovered. That doesn't mean they're going to blitz every time. Tell your kids, when somebody leaves, it don't mean chasing. It means hang in there because something's coming. So if the nose does come across the face right here, the tackle's not coming there. He's just not. Now, I say that, and they'll screw up, and you have 2 coming in there. But hell, if you block the first one, the second one's going to be blocked just because he's behind him. And that's the way I look at it. So that nose spikes across the center's face, and then the tackle loops around over here. That's where the communication comes, because I got the dotted line drawn, but they're still taking their pass set, whether it's kick slide or whether it's vertical. And so he sees that guy disappear. He's going to start going in. He's telling us, and the center knows the center is as far in as you can get. You can't get more in than the middle. He's dead middle of the formation. So he knows end's coming to him. And so he's dropping into his A gap, or at least, his eyes in his A gap, and he hears in. He knows something's coming. He hears it coming from the left. He knows it's coming right here. And when he sees that guy leave, he knows something's coming. Either the tackle, the mic, something's coming. Billy Pass Pro versus an even front right here. Running back checks B to C on the right side. The running back is always opposite the call. Now, we have done it where the running back was over here and he cross-faced. And that's got its own set of nastiness too, because we had a really physical kid. And he loved to block. Hell of a running back, but he loved to block too. And he'd be over here, and when they'd bring that guy, it was almost like a trap. He'd come across right here, and here comes that wheel to the B gap, and he would just T-bone his bandy right here. So you can do it that way. When you're starting out, always have the back opposite. And what we would do, we'd tell the back. Some years, we just tell the back, if you hear Billy, you know you're on the right. If you hear Ray, you know you're on the left. And so, again, right tackle, right guard are locked on Billy. Right here, they're locked. The rest of the line is slide left. I don't mean just slide into the gap. I mean, they're responsible for the gap to their left. Slide, just for lack of a better term. If the running back goes straight into a route, the quarterback is now responsible for the backer. If you want the running back involved in the route, in the concept, then the quarterback's got to know I'm responsible for the backer opposite the call, because the line's responsible for him over here. All right, real quick coaching point. Don't let your running back insert immediately. What'll happen is he gets up in here and he gets trapped between the guard and the tackle, and they either loop the wheel or bring outside pressure, edge pressure from an outside backer. He can't get out. Tell him to step up 1 or 2 steps with his eyes scanning here to here so he doesn't get trapped. Don't get up in there. And you got to practice this, the running backs do, with the O-line. If they're over there just in their individual time doing it on air with no line in front of them, they have no concept or no idea how much these guys are dropping on their kick slide or on their vertical pass set, whichever you prefer. Then you get out there and all of a sudden they're inserting too far and they're getting trapped between the big guys. All right, here is Ray. Notice the exact same thing. Guys, when I made this, all I did was flip the card. That's all I did. It's the same protection. Everything's exact same responsibility, except it's a mirror image. Or as my grandmother in South Alabama used to say, it's a mirror image, son. It's a mirror image. Everything's the same. I'm not going to insult your intelligence and go through the whole thing again. Everything I said here applies here, but flipped. All right, so here's Billy Pass Pro versus an odd. We already talked about that at the beginning of the video. Everything's the same. Notice the running back is away from the call, and he's checking B to C because his tackle is locked. Remember, against an odd, only one man is locked, and that will be the tackle away from the call. Billy is to the left, Ray is to the right. So the left tackle is locked right here on Ray, and then the back is checking B to C before getting involved in the route and slipping. All right, now here's the last one. This is a bonus one. This is a 7-man protection that turns into a 5-man protection if they do not bring pressure, they do not blitz. The right tackle and left tackle are locked. I like this one a lot. It takes a little bit more, I think, reps, but you're not going to lose your tackles. They're not going to be blocking grass. And they're locked on odd and even, and I'll show you solid versus even in just a second. Tackles are locked on the D ends, so they go wherever they go. That's a toilet paper protection. They're there to hand the guy toilet paper if he goes to boo-boo. The guards are going to be responsible for the A gap on both sides. And let me tell you why. They're going to drop with their eyes in the A gaps, because if the nose comes this way, the center and the right guard have him. Don't pay attention to the A and the B. I forgot to delete that. That's my fault. It should be an A for him too. If he comes this way, he's going to help the center. And this guy's waiting for a blitz. Okay. Now, listen to me. All right, so let's say the end goes out here. This is why I say it takes more reps. And he's locked. Left tackle's got him. Nose comes right here. So now the center and the left guard are pass pro on him. And the will comes B. Left guard just comes off and gets him. Because the center is locked. See the dotted line? He's locked. Now he's getting help. If they don't bring a backer, he's getting help from the left or the right guard. If they bring a backer on the left, he's responsible. Pretty cool, huh? Same thing over here. Again, ignore that B. He's going to set up housekeeping right here in the right A. He's the right guard. Nose comes, he's helping. He stays with the man, blocking the nose, unless something, the mic or the wheel loops, coming right here. Okay? So let's say they bring 3 in the middle. So the nose goes right here. These 2 are on him. And then the mic comes here. The guard will come off and help on the mic. Center never comes off on solid. You got 3 guys locked, the center and the 2 tackles. The will comes here. Okay? Left guard's got him. The will comes here. Left guard's got him. So they play, let's say it's 3rd and long. So they're going to bring nose here, mic here, end here. All gaps are covered. He's locked. He's locked. He's getting the backer. The H is eyeballing the outside backer. If he comes, he picks him up. If he doesn't come, he gets involved in the concept, in the pass concept. Same thing over here. He's checking the edge. So you've got every gap covered. It's a 7-man pass pro that turns into a 5-man if the backers do not blitz. Well, the outside backers. Because you're taking care of the inside backers on solid with your guards. So right tackle and left tackle are locked. The center's locked. And the guards are helping if the nose until inside linebackers come. It's that simple. If they loop out, he's checking right through here. That's why you got to coach him up. Don't be in a hurry. All right, this is solid versus an even. And now you got some serious lockage going on here, okay? All right, he's locked. He's locked. He's locked. These 2 right here are on the nose. The center is eyeballing the mic. The line's always responsible for the mic. The running back is responsible for the will. The H is responsible for the outside backer. And again, it's a 7-man pass pro that turns into a 5-man if there's no blitz. Here's the solid versus an even front. The other way, same thing. Again, both tackles are locked. The guy with the 3 is locked. And you could just say the right guard's locked because he's not coming off. The center will come off if Mike comes here. Or if Will comes here. If something comes here, he'll come off. The guard, so really you got 4 out of the 5 are locked. He knows he's staying. No matter what. If that Will comes, he's not coming off. That's the kind of stuff you got to stress. Now here's what I recommend. Run solid and just look at it against 3 fronts. Even one way, even the other way, and odd. And you're good. And you just rep it up every day. But the solid is good. Billy is easier, I think. But again, you're risking losing a tackle blocking grass. That's it for this episode of Football Talk with Coach Chip. Do not forget, go ahead right now. If you are not subscribed, go ahead and check too. Check. Am I subscribed to this mess? I need to subscribe. This old man's funny. And he also knows a little bit about football. That way you'll be alerted anytime. Click on that bell and you'll get a little thing pop up on your device that says, hey, Coach Chip just put something out. Do it right now. Also, if you're an audio subscriber, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, like this video, please, and then share the mess out of it. Put it on all your social media platforms. Get the word out there about Football Talk with Coach Chip. Don't forget our offensive line manual for gap scheme blocking. Month of June was good. had a lot of it. The Buck was good too, but the Gap scheme is still, if it was a real bookstore, it'd be flying off the shelves. And coaches, it's like every day there's at least one email. And I know that's nothing compared to, Amazon or something. But hey, I'm just a one-man operation, just an old retired guy trying to give back to the coaching community any way I can. So don't forget the podcast on Spotify, and it's on Apple now. If you get your podcast on Apple, it's there. I envy you people who only do podcasts on Apple because it just got up there. So that means 8 episodes you've got that will tide you over until episode 9 comes out next Saturday night at midnight, and then you'll be caught up. Don't forget, diving deeper into the concepts, you want help installing them, give me a holler, siegel.chip@gmail.com. I'll give you more info on about doing in-person clinics or Zoom clinics, consultations. I did 2 hours. Was it Saturday? Saturday morning, 2-hour consult with a coach from out in Utah. And we had a good time. And I think it was very productive. At least he said it was. And he's a sharp dude now. He picked right up on stuff. And he said he'd been binge watching a lot of the videos and the stuff that he wanted to run. And so he had his questions already lined up. What about this? I highly recommend that. So we're doing clinics, we're doing consultations, we're doing installs. You can bring as many people as you want to the Zoom clinics that you can get on there. That's been Protect Your Quarterback with Billy Ray. Billy Ray's a good dude. And with his friends, Solid. It's Pass Pro made easy from Football Talk with Coach Chip. Hey, until next time, y'all, be elite.